Hey, what is up,
I
guys? It's
know.
Colin with the Sunpar CCG.
You see.
And here I'm joined with my usual co-host, Trevor. He's
Yo,
playing
how's
games
it
right
going?
now.
No, I'm not. No,
Oh.
I paused.
You look like you are. You're dialed in, bro.
Yeah,
You're like locked in.
Oh, it's because I'm looking. Oh, wait. Let me change where my webcam's showing. Sorry. Sorry,
And-
boys. It's been a long day.
And our special guest, Chris.
What's up,
Maybe not so
guys?
special.
No, it's incredibly special. Incredibly.
Especially late.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I was at my computer the entire time, editing, waiting for the ping.
Yeah, so you probably saw us a couple days ago on Chris's channel when we were doing our Banlist predictions. A lot of discussion in the comments. A lot of people agreed with us. A lot of people did not agree with us. But that's okay, because here at Sunpire CCG, we are not a democracy. We are a dictatorship led by me. Nah, I'm kidding. Anyways.
Yes.
But it was a lot of fun doing that video.
And it doesn't even matter if you agree with us, because all that matters is that at the end of the day, we were right and you were wrong. Yup.
True. That's so true. How vindicated we felt after that stage got banned and law can only affect. I don't even. Law says shit now. We can get into it.
Law's
Yeah,
unplayable.
I don't know.
Oh my
That's
God.
Whatever you
He's
guys
so
want to start
bad.
with.
So bad.
Yeah. So to catch you guys up, for those who may have not heard yet, the bans are as follows in Japan, starting as of September 1st, which is the Red Purple Law Leader is banned, and so is Eni's Lobby. There has been no announcement yet as to when this will be applied to the rest of the world. This is only for the Asian formats currently, but more than likely we can expect this for ourselves too, since I'm pretty sure Bandai is doing a unified ban list moving forward.
Yeah.
And with that, Law also had the Sakazuki treatment, where they will be printing a new promo version of the Red Purple Law.
Love that. No,
what's
there's
it
no
like
such thing. There's no such thing, because you know how commenters say. There's no such thing as a bad leader. It's all about how you use them at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. I've gotten that take many a time in my comment section. They all echo it, so I guess it must be true. Green Blue Sanji's not ass, but...
That's the one you pulled out of your head? Green Blue Sanji? At least that's playable. Vega,
Is he? You think so?
I was thinking, like,
Define
ice-
playable.
He actually
I
gets
was-
tops. He does
Yeah,
get tops.
I was thinking like.
Are you talking about
iceberg.
Sanji Zoro?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
talking about the
Sanji.
vanilla, the one
Yeah,
with the suit?
Sanji.
Oh.
Oh, I don't care about that. I don't care
the
that he's
vanilla
like
Sanji.
top.
Look, I am now vindicated. My guy was so
no.
bad you forgot he existed.
No, okay, he forgot. That's
I-
my problem. I was
Yes.
saying though, it's like iceberg. You know, that's the one you should. Okay, anyway.
Iceberg's
I'm sorry.
better than Blue Green Sanji, I feel.
Iceberg's not bad.
Tangent, off topic, but anyway.
Anyways, yeah, so the new law, for those who don't know, I'll have it up on the screen somewhere. Dawn -3, like the old one, bottom deck one of your own characters with 3,000 or more power, and then play a Heart Pirate 4 cost or lower from your hand for free. That's it.
I gotta
It
say,
is- Yeah.
I'm a fan, honestly. I like it.
You think so?
I like it. Because I don't think I'll ever play into another Red Purple Law again. I don't think people will even try.
Oh,
Okay.
That's where you're taking that. Okay.
Yeah.
I look. I'll give them the credit. I'll give them the credit at Bandai. They didn't make him technically unplayable. You can play like the one drop searcher that's coming out where it searches the straw hats and the Hearts Pirates, and then you can bottom deck it, and then you can play the bigger searcher for Hearts Pirates. which is-
Holy.
No, it
It's
has
not-
to be 3K or bigger.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
unplayable. Never mind, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I know it's unplayable.
Wow. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. It's been a very long day, so my reading comprehension is really bad right
Yeah,
now.
they
You just had to listen to Colin. What do you mean?
My listening comprehension is really
Okay.
bad.
Trevor doesn't listen to me. It's okay.
You know, tendency.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel like this tells me one of two things. Either Bandai just like got a lot of angry emails saying, "Hey, this leader's way too strong, and like you need to nerf it to the ground," or they might have some hard pirates in R&D. I mean, I don't know what their R&D process is like, but maybe they have some Heart Pirates planned for down the line that could make this leader okay. Again, it takes a lot because you have to lose your own card to play your own card for free, on top of the Don minus. So like you can't even minus off your own Black Maria and shambles your own Black Maria because Black Maria is a 2K, which makes no sense to me.
I always forget that she's 2K counter on top of that.
Yeah, she's 2K counter, 2K power. So you can't even bottom your own Black Maria to play a thing.
Thoughts? What did you guys think when you watched the when you did you guys watch it live, or did you guys like?
I woke up to it.
You woke up to it?
Yeah, I fell asleep in the middle of your stream, and I'm like, screw it. I'll wake up to it 4 hours later.
I set an alarm for 2 a.m. I tried, so I like 12. I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep and take a nap, and then I just couldn't sleep. I just laid in bed and stared in a dark room and stared at the ceiling for 2 hours. My alarm went off. I was like, oh god damn it! And then I went live, and then I believe after going live, I had to watch a tournament I didn't care about for 4 hours before we finally got the Banlist draw. Yeah.
You got baited so hard.
Yeah.
I didn't stay up for it. I didn't wake up for it. I accidentally stayed up till like 4 in the morning, went to bed for work, got up at 6, and then proceeded to realize that, oh wait, Law's banned, and so is Stage. So I went to work tired and very happy.
Nice.
Tired and happy. Yeah. Interesting. So before the ban list, what was your plan? Were you... Because from what I remember at locals, you were on Red Purple Law. What was your plan for Nats?
For Nats? I mean, it's still RP Law because it's OPO 7.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're
We're
right.
so out of it, dude. But it's okay. We accept it. We accept it.
Get with the times.
So 3 of us are on RP Law. I think we're going to be staying with RP Law into Nats format, and I know me and Colin have already discussed it. Like, BY Luffy is probably the hard switch after Nats if you're playing in OPO8. BY Luffy looks really strong. Nami actually looks way better than it should.
She does.
Unfortunately, like we discussed.
She does.
Like we discussed in our Banlist prediction video. And then even stuff like Enel. Actually, another deck that's really good that I think if we get the structure decks, I don't know when we're going to get those new structure decks, by the way. I assume it's with OPO 9, but if we
I believe it's October.
Is it? Okay, so it's
October in the middle of OPO 8.
halfway through, right? So
yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, the other deck that actually looks really good because the most aggressive deck is out of the meta, I think, is Katakuri. I don't know if you guys can confirm that, but Katakuri may have some staying power with Law being gone.
He does get a few good tools. I'm still not sure if he's better than Enel as far as yellow decks go.
Fair enough. I'm not going to disagree with that.
My take is,
But seeing
I
the
think
every turn is so annoying.
I think Kata might be better than Enel, because I think in the actual current climate, I think Enel may have been better. But I think with this ban list, I feel like there has to be, you know, like more Nami setup here. And in that matchup, I'd rather be on Kata than be on Enel, you know?
That is very true. That is very true. Especially with that new Big Mom from the structure decks is like really good.
So you're talking about the new 6 drop where you pitch a card, either they discard 2 cards or they burn a life, right?
Yeah.
That card is, I think, really solid for what Kata is trying to do. I wouldn't say for any other yellow leader, but for Kata specifically.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and that's where I'm going with that. That's another reason that I'm bringing up Kata now is like tangent of like why this ban list is really cool for OPO8 specifically. I think it will bring some new decks. Not that I want to see Kata. I don't want to see more yellow decks. But if you are a Kata fan, I think you have a place in this next meta with Law being gone. Specifically, yeah, with Law being gone, it's just a huge help for a lot of decks that were like just getting pressured way too fast to go to 10 Dawn without having board control, which is yellow really doesn't.
So I think it's interesting, like with the new Big Mom, for example, and then you have your 7 Mom, and then, you know, of course, 10 Mom. Like, not only are you like repeatedly able to swing for bigger numbers into Nami than Enel would be able to, but also I think it's amazing that there's like 3 different opportunities to rip a life off of her without triggering a peel off or an All Stars.
Yeah.
That's actually huge. That's actually really, really, really big. I think one topic we do have to discuss regarding the ban list, because based off my comment section, it's one that I got like a lot on the video. It's a lot of people are upset that Gecko Moria did not get touched in any way. Yeah.
What? Okay. I mean, like we discussed it in our video though. It's like, Why are you can't touch that card because of just how pivotal it is for every black deck, you know, mixed or just pure black. Like it is needed. You would kill 3 decks if you did that.
Yeah,
In this list, they've killed 2 decks, and I wouldn't even say they've killed 2. Lucci has a chance. I say Lucci might have some feet. We don't know yet, but Lucci might be still good. Law is gone though. If you kicked Moria to the curb, then we wouldn't see BY loot. If you thought Nami was bad now, Nami would be even worse to deal with.
Yeah.
That's
the thing
yellow,
though.
If we're in a pure yellow meta, like Nami, like do we all want to be on Nami and just have solitaire mirrors for the like?
So I do think that is something worth mentioning also, because like you're saying, like with Gecko gone, like if you think Nami's bad now, she'll only get twice. But I think the crazy part is like if you read like through the comment section, people don't think Nami is bad.
We said it very explicitly too that, or at least I'm pretty sure I said it explicitly where we said Nami doesn't feel fun to play against for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That is like what is said a lot in the community. It is a good deck, but we do not think it should be banned for A, we don't think it's that overpowered. Like, it's very well positioned, but not overpowered. And
right.
B, we don't want to ban that kind of leader because a lot of people do genuinely enjoy playing the game on that kind of axis, and people should be able to enjoy the game on different playstyles.
Yeah.
I found it crazy too, because it's like they're upset literally just over, I guess, there being criticism for the leader, because it's not like we advocated for her ban. It's not like we advocated for any of her cards to be restricted. It was simply the fact that she was placed in a tier that said problematic but not bannable, and that alone set people up into arms. It's like, okay, I just don't like, literally, if the leader didn't have anything abusable or ridiculous about her like happening at the moment, she wouldn't be as successful as she was within the past week, you know. She's won 2 large-scale events just within, like, the past 10 days. A leader doesn't do that while being 100% fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah, absolutely. You are correct. Unless they're cheating. Katakuri's.
Yes.
JK.
Well, no, I mean, that's the whole thing, though, is, right? It's like, a deck doesn't just all of a sudden win 2 regionals without doing something weird, right? Or without being good. It's one of the two. It's either you did something wrong, or the deck is just doing good, and that both Nami players proved that Nami can be played at a high tier against even the current meta, with Law being in the meta. Like, I don't know about Treasure Cup, but unfortunately I do know that the regional Pasadena player did not see any RP Law. But
I thought you were to say they cheated. I was like, oh no.
No.
No. That actually, the Nami player that won Pasadena is a reputable player. He hangs out with like Nikki Goldman and all them. Anyways, tangent aside here. Yeah, I think the OPO8 meta is good. Heck with your your comment section about the Nami. So, like,
I mean,
get mad at us.
Right?
Yeah, get mad at us. Like, I mean, Nami's not banned. Be happy that Nami's not banned. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't get mad at it. Don't waste your energy. There's no reason not. No reason to.
So I guess with the ban list that we did get, with what we currently have with Annie's lobby being banned, and with Red Purple Law being banned, because a lot of the conversation hinged on like what cards should be hit if Red Purple Law was not to be banned, and if you got an errata instead and stuff like that. With the list that we actually did receive, are there any, and how we believe the meta is probably like how we expect it to shape out, are there any cards that either of you wish would have also been restricted or banned in some way?
No. No. like we said before in your video, the most fair hit to Law was Law himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I just wanted to clarify from the previous video, if anyone's like going from the previous one to this one, when we put those Law cards on that quote-unquote tier list, again, just wanted to be clear, we weren't saying that all these cards need to be hit together. It's just at least one of those cards need to be hit, and we were just discussing what we think Bandai could have potentially hit. But ultimately, we did say that Law, the leader itself, was the fairest hit. And then same with Eni's lobby. It's like something out of Lucci needed to be hit. We just didn't think H.R. Moria was the hit. And to clarify too, I still think Moria is potentially a problem. I think we can all agree with that. That card only just gets better as time goes on, right? maybe it will get banned like next time there's a banning. Who knows? Like it could very well happen. It's just at this point in time, it's just so pivotal to a lot of strategies that aren't seen as overbearingly broken, or at least I hope aren't seen as overbearingly broken, at least in our opinions.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel that outside of Lucci, that there's nothing that Gecko currently doing to warrant a ban. So if Gecko were to be banned, I wouldn't have any gripes or complaints about it because I could see why. But I wouldn't think he was being banned for anything that he's currently doing. I would think that he would be being banned as a future proof, a kind of
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
That's the best way to say it. Is like, but in going off that, like Bandai can't future proof because they don't know how it's going to interact with the meta until it gets played. Like, yeah, the Bandai can do as much testing as possible, but like a lot of stuff gets shown as the players get their hands on the cards.
Yeah.
Like that's why we play the game so much. Yeah. The only going off what you asked though, Chris, if we had a card that we'd want to be banned, and it's a ban that because I just don't like the idea that this card exists in the game. It's Pudding. It has the same problems that we have with Nami, where it makes you play around or do something different that you're just not. In how One Piece is designed, you shouldn't have to do.
Like it adds this extra weird little sub game to the to the game.
It does,
and it's not healthy. Yeah. It's not like BY Luffy just loses to that card. I don't think a deck should lose to a card. A deck should lose to a deck, not a card.
Like a strategy.
A strategy. Yeah. I guess that's a better way to put that. But yeah, it shouldn't lose to a card. That would be the only hit. I don't even know. Did we have that on your list? I cannot remember it.
We did not.
Yeah,
we did not.
I don't. Yeah,
other people
I wanted
did
to bring
though.
It up in the list.
Interestingly enough, I think Eggman did actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's why I bring it up here is just because I think it was worth the ban, not because it's it is a crazy card, but because it just kills a lot of strategies. That's the issue that I have with that card, and it's such a shit thing to run into. Like, because Nami players can just play it. I don't know if they do or not. I need to look at lists and stuff, but like a 1 of or 2 of just for the mirror too. Like that's good card in the mirror.
It's a hilarious card in the mirror.
Yeah,
because it's just draw, pass, go every turn. You're just like, both of us have 20 in hand. Okay, put 20 cards back in your deck.
Yeah.
No, I can see. I don't know if I think she's ban worthy or not, but the reason I could potentially see it is because I don't think any other card for just like 4 Dawn can make your opponent go like -8. I think that is ridiculous. The influence that she can have for such minimal investment is actually insane. I just don't know how I'd go about it because it's one of those things where like there is like quote unquote like counterplay to her is the thing because like your opponent can like I guess like counter more aggressively and stuff like that. I guess you could argue that there's counterplay. I feel like that's one of the cards where like if you were to advocate for its ban, there's a lot of like different arguments that you could play devil's advocate with. I do think overall though, I don't know if I think it's necessary for her to be banned, but she is a card that like the game though. I think the game only benefits from her disappearing overall.
Yeah, I think it's more of it's
a quality of life.
It's a quality of life thing, and maybe she doesn't have to be banned. I don't like to limit cards because I think like the Whitebeard limiting stuff was like
if it's on 1, you'll play 1, right?
Yeah, just like ban it, right? Yeah. But like if you wanted to, just limit it at least. Just so at least I know I got luck sack. Not that you saw 3, you 3. Like I'd like to. It's like a weird thing for me. I don't know, but I'd rather know I got luck sack than you just play 3 or 4 Pudding just because you know you're gonna run into the deck, right? Like
I think it'd make me saltier though, because like if I lost to a Pudding and I'd be like, they had the 1 of Pudding. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. It's like, oh man, they had the 1 of Called by the Grave. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. For me, it's personally, it's like just I'd rather lose to the 1 of than know that they just shuffled 4 Puddings in their deck because they knew they're gonna run into a BY Luffy deck. That's the issue. Is like that's why like I don't want to play that deck is because blue decks exist. Like weird, but RP Law kind of helps with that.
It's interesting. I do have I think one hit that. Because after seeing that they basically just did do the list that we asked for, which does mean that because that was interesting too, because not only were those the hits, so it was basically they should ban Annie's Lobby, they should ban Red Purple Law, and that would mean that they should touch Yellow in some way, however we don't expect them to. So that's pretty much exactly what ended up happening. I do think though that with them having honored like the list that we asked for, now that it's kind of clear that we do go into like a more Enel and like Nami focused meta, because that's essentially it. Like, the worst part about like Enel becoming like a top tier, he's already top tier, but becoming like a focal point, the problem isn't Enel himself, it's what he invites, and that is Nami, unfortunately. And I do think if you're going to be in a Nami meta, if I could add one more card to the list, and maybe it is just a card out of like spite or whatever, but I would like to see Whitesnake go.
I know you two both hate that card. I don't get the hate on that card, but
I gave it some thought from the previous video, and despite what some of the comments are saying, that's whatever. I do like Eggman's suggestion of
which is
hitting Impel Down All-Stars, basically to shave away one of their draw two triggers. Because it is a very, very sacky card that they can just play for no reason. So, like, instead of, like, effectively 8 Pilafs that they could have in their life, it's only 4 Pilafs now. It's just, like, a subtle hit that makes Nami less sacky. Which, I don't hate the idea, because there is counterplay in a sense to Whitesnake. It doesn't feel good, like, from a gameplay perspective, it doesn't feel good to be playing against Whitesnake. But if we want to, like, subtly shave down Nami, I think All-Stars is also a fair choice, just to remove some of the sackiness.
I guess they remove some of the sack, but I don't think that addresses like the problem of like playing black leaders into Nami, because like, for example, the matchups are like so lopsided that like they could not hit any draw 2 trigger and still win the game anyway, just because you're so slow into it, especially like if you're on a Bonnie or an Enel, like bringing it back to those leaders. Like, I do think if you do have the amount of draw 2 triggers that come out of life, that like, I guess there's less tilting moments within it, but I do think the overall matchup does remain the same, of it just being so unfavorable for you. Which is why I do think it just comes back to Whitesnake for me personally.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, ultimately we're just gonna have to see what Nami players come up with, or at least like how well represented she is, because like maybe we'll be working with another aggro deck in the meta, because I think Law kind of was gatekeeping a lot of other
he was
ground aggro decks, like Reiju's like the biggest example.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw the market. I know I saw Vampire posted on Twitter, but the alt-art Reiju leader yesterday was $50 on TCG Player. Now she's like pushing 100 or like 90 to 100. Yep. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh man, Reiju's like back in the meta, which, to be fair, like Reiju actually, and we said this in a previous tier list video, Reiju has a solid like matchup spread against most everybody else. It's just that Law was so crippling for her that, you know, like she literally had to open like poor Shichiji to have a shot in the matchup. But now that Law's gone, you know, I think Reiju becomes a very strong contender as an aggro deck in the meta. Maybe some other ones like Zoro, perhaps. Whitebeard, especially now that Lucci's like toned down a little bit with the loss of stage, could see a resurgence.
I think, because I was also thinking about Red Green Law. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sorry,
because that is one I've seen people float occasionally. That's one that I don't think changes. I don't think Banlist changes anything regarding that, because it's like, he's lost cost reduction, but he never needed cost reduction to beat Red Green Law, was the thing. So I don't think that matchup gets any better than it. If anything, I think the matchup gets worse now that there's less spaces in the deck dedicated to cost reduction. Because those cards are all essentially bricks in the Red Green Law matchup, because they serve no purpose outside of like 5-drop Law.
Yeah. I think one thing that like could pop up here, like for OPO8, and it was something that was seeing good play in the beginning of OPO8, I believe, which was Animal Zoro.
Zero, yeah.
Zero does have more of a chance, I think, going into the meta now with those two going for us over in the American format. I'm too tired to fucking think. Anyways, that I think is the aggro deck to be on the lookout for. Other than that, though, Whitebeard still has Bonnie, though. That's the issue, and Bonnie's actually better now.
Bonnie is potentially better now. Now let's talk more about this. Is Lucci still a top contender without Lenny Slavi?
I think he's on the outskirts. I think he does drop off. I don't think he's quite meta, but I don't think he's quite like Rogue. You know, I think he'd be the equivalent of like. So I imagine that his drop in power probably has to put him in the position that like Perona is currently in an OPO7, or that like Reiju was in like OPO6. where they were never like a top tier leader, but they're like they can compete, and maybe like if the stars align, they have a really good day and they high roll that they can do it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Lucci's. I don't think maybe he wins a bunch of events or anything anymore, but I think he still tops here and there. You know?
Yeah. I feel like the opposite. I feel like he's still a really strong contender, and the reason for that is that like if we're shifting to maybe even more of a mid-rangey meta, maybe like aggro decks still don't show up as much. I think a stageless Lucci deck could exist still with like, of course they obviously have Tempest kicks and maybe like with a bunch of Ice Ages or other reducers. Obviously not quite as efficient as like going turn 1 stage, but still reaches like a lot of high numbers, especially if we're in a slower format. Lucci has the time to set those combos up to go like Ice Age, play Moria, revive, Shrinker plus Lucci, something to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I feel, and I'm just spitballing because like there's so much speculation to be had here, right?
Yeah,
there's no way to
course,
know for certain,
course.
but I feel like if we do find ourselves in a format where like if things do slow down considerably, and there is a lot of Nami, I feel like the Lucci deck gets so much worse just because he has so many cards dedicated to cost reduction for characters that don't exist on the board, and then a bunch of KO also for characters that just Nami isn't putting on the board anyway. Like you'll probably pop like a Margaret or a Kaya, but those never needed cost reduction to begin with. So I think you'd add all this cost reduction to hit higher targets for other matchups, I guess like Enel or Katakuri, for example. But then when you hit Nami, which I have to assume is going to be a very, very popular pick, I feel like your Nami matchup only gets so much worse, and I feel like she gets so much more represented.
Yeah, it's definitely, man, it's tough to say because it's like the thing is that Nami isn't very popular in Asia, at least from what we're seeing, right? At least in OP7, it didn't seem to be very popular in the Asian format during OP7.
It wasn't.
Obviously,
no, yeah.
OP8, there's like no Namis because obviously everyone and their mother's on law, right?
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in Japan and the rest of the Asian countries because it really does feel like free season, where like we have no idea. Maybe it becomes an aggro heavy meta, like because other people figured out, oh, okay, these decks were gate kept by Law and Stage Lucci, or maybe it's more mid range. Like I guess just kind of wrap this up here since I don't want to keep this for way too long. But what are the biggest winners that we think on the surface level from this banning? I would say Black Yellow Luffy, and because Black Yellow Luffy is up, Bonnie too, right? I think those two decks are probably the biggest winners. Any other ones you guys can think of?
I think if we're choosing like per color, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's like one you already said earlier. I think Reiju is a really big winner here. I think that one kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
I think that Enel is a big winner. Funnily enough, I think that all the leaders that are the biggest winners are leaders that already were at least viable to some extent. I don't think that like a Dark Knight suddenly appears, you know? I don't think there's any leaders that weren't performing before that suddenly are going to now that this list has gone into effect. The only one I would maybe even say is like Katakuri, and I just think that's because people just weren't playing him. I don't think he was incapable. I just think he didn't have representation.
I mean, to kind of meme on it a little bit, my Bird Kaido is more effective now.
That is true. And my Blurple Crocodile.
I mean, see, look, we're cooking. I mean, like, yeah, we can have some fun with it now. Because Colin, I understand we don't want to keep this video too long. That's something that also is to take note of this ban list. It's the same thing when Sokka got banned. The meta opens up. Experiment. Take time to like see what's out there without these decks being so strong or even in the meta anymore. And see what happens. I do actually, like, funny enough, I do think maybe Burn Kaido actually could have staying power compared to what it used to, because, like, it just gets blasted by Law, like, realistically. Chris's BP Croc, Yellow Purple Croc, these types of decks are just better now. The best aggro deck in the game is gone. Try some control format, and maybe we can see what's good now with that leader gone.
I would definitely revisit a lot of 4 health leaders this format because again a lot of them were very heavily gatekept by full power Law. So we definitely need to go back to the drawing board on all the dual color 4 health leaders, because I mean, I don't know, maybe like some of them probably not coming back, like Isho.
Yeah, coming back from what?
Yeah, you're right.
Piranha's actually a really good one now too.
Oh, Piranha, yes.
Yeah,
There's Piranha.
Land of Wano, Piranha, especially now, gets to like just there's no aggro deck, so it just gets to like it might be able to play 4 Land of Wanos while controlling the opponent's board, which is crazy to think about, but that is just something you can do now without the aggro deck in the meta.
I've never even heard of Land of Wano Piranha. You mean like the stage, discard a card, restand a dawn?
No, not
Is that a thing?
Just Samurai.
Oh, Samurai. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's too spicy. That's crazy.
Sorry, I'm very tired today, so my brain is lacking in power. Other than that, I don't know. I'm excited. I think that's the best way to put it. Is I think it's an exciting time.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's a very exciting time too. I also do think it'll be great to see like. I saw there were like a lot of like Gecko lists that were experimenting with running like 5-drop can't be KO'd Smoker and all that. I'm glad to see they don't have to do that anymore.
Smoker.
That was, yeah.
I remember those times. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder if it also makes like black decks not have to like commit as much space, if any, to Borsellino, because Borsellino was like he feels like a card where his numbers fluctuate a lot. There's a lot of times where he gets cut entirely. There's a lot of times where he comes back. I know most recently in Gecko, Borsellino's back up to 4. It wouldn't surprise me with not having to fear the Luigi matchup as much if like Borsellino just gets cut again, or goes down to like 1-up as a target for Gecko or something. You know.
I don't want to tangent again here, but the reason that card is still good is because the BY Luffy matchup. That's where I'll end that.
You're right. You're right.
It's very good there. But anyways, yeah, I'll let Colin do the outro here at this point.
But yeah, guys, if you're going to Nationals, definitely say hi to us. We'll be glad to meet a lot of people there. And you may or may not see us on Blue Purple Crocodile. But anyways, yeah, so like we were saying, this is such a wide open format, especially when OP9 comes out. We'll definitely be doing content soon on what we think will be good in OP9, maybe some early like test builds for some of the new leaders, hopefully if and when the sim updates. And for those of you that subscribe to us that came from Chris's channel when we were on his video, thank you so much for doing so. If you're here, thank you again for dropping by. Of course, subscribe to Small Hat Crew if you're not already. I'm pretty sure you are already if you're watching this, but if you're not, do it. And yeah, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell for more. And remember, this is just our opinions, but they're the correct opinions, supposedly. So anyways, objectively true. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
See you guys.